What's good, fam? As a lot of you already know, Akai dropped the newest version of the MPC firmware today, MPC 3.0 for standalone. It has a lot of features that a lot of people have been waiting for, wanting, and asking for, but I do have a few concerns. Follow me. Alright, so today we got the announcement that everybody has been waiting for, MPC 3.0. And a lot of the videos that we've seen thus far have been spectacular. It's got a lot of people excited. The hype is up. The buzz is buzzing. If you know what I mean, it's going crazy right now. But after watching the official Akai release video, I did have a few concerns that might affect power users like myself who like to use the desktop software. I know it ain't that many of us. Most of y'all say y'all are standalone only, which is fine. But for the people like me, I feel like we will be possibly heavily affected. Now I'm gonna get straight into it. The biggest thing I saw in that announcement that kind of had me scratching my head a little bit is toward the end of the video, they said that there will be no 3.0 desktop software launching when the firmware becomes available. That was a little concerning for me, seeing that I almost exclusively use the desktop version of the software with my MPC. Now they did say the MPC 3.0 firmware was backwards compatible with the MPC 2.15 desktop update. So when you switch it into controller mode, the MPC should still work with the 2.0 software on the desktop. Now, even though it says that it's backwards compatible, or when you switch it to controller mode, it will run the desktop software, I am kind of concerned about compatibility issues. I've been around a long time and I've seen this time and time again. It's like having a PlayStation 4 and going out and getting a PlayStation 5. While that PlayStation 5 can play PlayStation 4 games, that PlayStation 4 cannot play PlayStation 5 games. And I'm wondering if the MPC 2.15 software is going to be the same way. The launch video said that you can load 2.0 projects inside of the MPC 3.0, but can you also load MPC 3 projects inside of the desktop software? Otherwise, you basically won't be able to use the desktop software at all if that's the case, if you start your project in 3.0. So that's kind of a deal breaker for me. And if that is the case, I would probably rarely use the 3.0 firmware, and I would just stick to 2.0 and working on the desktop version that we have right now. It almost feels to me like if we don't get a 3.0 desktop version of the software, a lot of the power users like myself might be left in the dark a little bit. Many of us have tons of plugins and other instruments that we like to use from time to time during our beat making process. It's not always a necessity because you can go with some of the built-in plugins that come with the MPC software. A lot of the Air plugins are really good. I'm not gonna hold you on that one. They are really good, but there are some other plugins on the market that you can do different things with that might come in handy from time to time. And using those is just not possible in a standalone. Again, that is a really huge thing for me, because from what I could tell from the video, there wasn't even a desktop version of the software even announced or a time frame given. So we don't even know if we're ever going to get that. If we are going to be standalone only from here on out, that very well could be, like I said, a deal breaker for me. Now, the next thing I'm kind of concerned with, and it's good and bad, is the arranger. Currently, if I'm in the grid and I'm trying to edit in the grid, sometimes my fingers are just too fat to get into those singular notes. If I'm trying to edit something in a drum program or drum pattern, it's kind of difficult to highlight one note with my finger, and sometimes even with the cue links, to get that specific note that I want, to move it or delete it or change it to a different note or something like that. It seems like, looking at these videos, that a lot of the notes in the grid now are smaller by default. Now you can expand the windows and things like that, but I could definitely see a little bit more difficulty if I'm using my finger trying to highlight to edit some of those notes. And I'm kind of wondering, how easy is that really going to be in standalone? I know I prefer to grab my mouse and do it much easier on the 2.0 software than trying to highlight those notes with my finger. It's kind of why I like being in a hybrid situation where I can use both the MPC and the mouse when I need to. Other than that, for me, most of the rest of the stuff that I've seen feels like really welcome changes, and I can't wait to get my hands on it to try to play around with it. I will definitely make some videos using 3.0 once I get a chance to play around with it. I'm not quite sure if I'm gonna be able to go full standalone with it though, but I will play around with it and kind of feel my way around it. Whenever I get a chance to do that, I'll definitely drop some videos and talk about it, share my experiences, what I find, see maybe I find something that other people aren't talking about, things like that. If I do, you will be the first to know, as always. For now, those are my biggest concerns with this new MPC 3.0 release. I know everybody's excited to get it. Me, I'm kind of 50-50 because of those realizations, and I hope I'm wrong about it, and I hope that everything is fully compatible with the 2.0 software. But again, if it's not, I might end up getting the 3.0 software, but I would probably be primarily in controller mode or computer mode, so I would never see it. So I would never be able to utilize all of those new features. Let me know if any of these concerns hold weight with you guys. If it does, please leave some comments. Let's talk about it. That's all I got. Until the next video, I'm out.